Hi, I'm going to be discussing two books today. One was made into a movie, a good movie, great movie, and the other was the inspiration for a series of movies. The first is Cormac McCarthy's The Road, which is a post-apocalyptic father and son movie. The end of the world has already happened. It's not specific. You don't learn exactly what it is that brought about the end of the world, but you're in the middle of it with this father and son. You do look back and see that the mother, the wife character, is gone, and she's simply left. There's a history, and who knows what it is, but something Cormac McCarthy's very good at is just bluntly putting things in front of you as the reader and saying, that's what happened. Just keep reading. And that's true to The Road as it is his other works. If you're familiar with Cormac McCarthy, you might think that this is a Western. It's not. He has several, I would say, modern Westerns. They're not typical. I don't remember there's one Western writer I'm trying to think of. They're not typical Westerns. They're modern Westerns. They do, a lot of his stories do take place in the Southwest. They do involve, horses and ranches and a sort of cowboy lifestyle or Western lifestyle. The Road is dissimilar. It is unto itself a non-cowboy story, a non-modern cowboy story. If you're familiar with the movie The Road with Viggo Mortensen, who plays the main character, that's a very good adaptation of this book. There's several movies that I think are good adaptations. Trainspotting is one that's a great adaptation. There's that Fight Club was a good adaptation, American Psycho, but The Road is one of the best book-to-movie adaptations, in my opinion. And part of that is because in the movie, they capture something that is as big a character in the book as any person in the book, and that is the tone. The overall tone of the story is the end has already happened. The pressure of something horrible coming is behind you, and it's sort of this, it's not misery that they're living with. It's just disappointment going on day by day in a world that has fallen apart, and worrying, is your son going to be okay? Is he going to be prepared for what's next? And the main character, the father in the movie, in the book, is sick. There's sickness in the world, and he's dying, and so he's sort of on a race against the clock to get his son to his idea of safety, which is the beach, the ocean. That's the road that they're following. Is there's some notion that they have that there's safety ahead if they keep pushing forward toward the shore, which is wrong. He's not right about that, and that's sad. But it does illustrate that fathers don't always know what's next. They don't know what they're talking about sometimes, but they're going to just do the best they can, which is a really good message throughout the book. We're all on the road, and to try and pretend like we all know what we're talking about is almost silly. So the character of hopelessness is prevalent in the book, but it's not a hopelessness that makes it necessarily a sad story. There is a light at the end of the tunnel in the end of the book, a possibility, and that's as good as anything gets. Possibility, maybe, hope, that's as good as anything gets. So I would say that The Road is one of my favorite adaptations from book to movie. I enjoy all of Cormac McCarthy's books. He's written so many great books, Blood Meridian, All the Pretty Horses, so many other great books, but this is unique for Cormac McCarthy. So that's book one. And then totally in a different direction, Simulacra and Simulation by Jean Baudrillard. This is not a story, this is a philosophy book for the most part. Some of it is just an old man bitching and complaining about things, but the ideas in this book, I can't think of the name of the philosopher who's, I should know this if I'm going to do a book review, but it expounds upon some earlier philosophies about the about reality and how we develop a sort of map of what we think reality is, and we interact with that map to the point where we're living in that map more than reality itself. This was the inspiration for the Matrix movies, which, as a side note, Baudrillard was alive when the first Matrix movie came out, and his response to it was that The Matrix is the movie that The Matrix would make if it was real. He wasn't a fan. I don't think he hated it, but he did feel like the Wachowski brothers had completely missed what it was he was trying to say about simulation and what simulation theory really is. They sort of took this idea and made it sort of this cyber reality, science fiction action story. And that's not at all what Simulacra and Simulation is about. Really, if you think about how you see the world, like if you're going to go somewhere, I'm trying to be brief about this, but it is complicated. If you try to go somewhere tomorrow, you have an idea that you're going somewhere tomorrow, and you make a plan to go to a location you've never been before. You map it out on your phone. You maybe look at the Google image of the place you're going to, and you maybe even draw something on paper to help you on your way. None of that is the real world. All of those things are ideas. And as you're on your way there, you'll go past stoplights, and the stoplights will be red or green or yellow, and you will take what they say as gospel, and you will believe, red, I'm going to stop. There's danger, so I will stop at this intersection, when in fact there may be no danger at all. It may be the safest time to go. There's no cars, but the light simulates the idea of danger, the idea of following laws, and so you do it. And then when you get close to a place, you aren't interacting with the place itself. You're looking at your phone and you're deciding, okay, I've got to turn here, I've got to follow this there. And even if you talk to someone about, hey, I'm close by, but I can't find your house, you're not talking to that person. You're not talking to anyone. You're just holding this plastic thing up against your head, plastic and glass and metal and blah, 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 and trusting that the device is working for you and that it's all real. And then you actually don't even interact. Biologically, it takes a step further, because whatever's in there, you're not interacting with any of that either. You're taking information that data that your ears are sending, and putting it into your head and trusting that that's real. The same with your eyes. Your optic nerve is sending signals back to your brain. Is any of that real? If we live in a simulation, all of that can be falsified, and then you're sort of operating on trust. But that wasn't a very good explanation. Simulacra and Simulation is overall very interesting. It's one of the earlier, I read it several years ago, but it's one of the earlier philosophy books that I appreciated in recent years. Although it may be one of those books that's kind of like, okay, so what's the point? I can't do anything about it. What's the point? Some people might feel that way, but I think just thinking about ideas like this are interesting. It sort of reflects on Plato's cave concept. Anyway, it's well worth reading if you're interested in philosophy, if you're interested in the possibility of living in a simulation. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching this. Thanks.